Inside this upper floor unit, the living space appears entirely intact. To an observer, the finishes look pristine and undisturbed. The building's climate control system maintains a standard environment. The digital thermostat confirms the interior is within normal humidity and temperature ranges. Despite this outward stability, the occupant reports recurring water intrusion, an event triggered specifically by heavy rainfall and adverse weather. In warm, climate-controlled environments, moisture trapped within wall cavities undergoes a process of stagnation. This degrades structural materials and compromises the indoor air quality of the entire residence. Surface-level perfection masks a hidden structural threat that requires specialized detection to isolate. Specialists from Apex Microbial Assessments were retained to investigate the source of the reported intrusion. The challenge is to identify the exact pathway of the water without stripping the finishes off a luxury unit to find it. The evaluation must remain non-destructive. This constraint rules out immediate exploratory demolition or wall removal during the diagnostic phase. The investigation relies on building science, using instrumentation to observe the physical response of materials hidden behind the drywall. A targeted forensic approach avoids the catastrophic costs associated with unnecessary or broad-scale demolition. The process begins with moisture meters, scanning the surfaces for elevated saturation levels deep within the wall assemblies. This data is cross-referenced with infrared thermal imaging, which detects the thermal mass and evaporative cooling effect created by moisture trapped in wall cavities. The thermal camera reveals a series of severe anomalies. These dark purple regions indicate heavy saturation, hidden behind the seemingly dry paint. The HUD displays a 15-degree temperature differential between the dry and saturated materials, proving active moisture presence. These specific temperature readings convert an occupant's observations into objective, measurable forensic data. This floor plan illustrates the extent of the invisible damage by mapping every detection point. Significant moisture zones span the master bedroom, living room, and walls adjacent to the rear balcony. The distribution pattern is continuous, concentrated entirely along the upper exterior-facing assemblies. This widespread floor-to-ceiling profile along the exterior walls isolates the failure to the building's outer skin, ruling out a localized interior plumbing leak. If the water's distribution confirms the source isn't a singular interior point, the building's exterior armor has been compromised. Shifting the view outside reveals the unit's vulnerability. It is positioned on the top floor, directly beneath the building's flat roof. Aerial imagery shows visible membrane irregularities and surface deterioration sitting directly above the saturated interior walls. These components make up the building envelope, the critical separator between the controlled interior and the environmental loading of the exterior. Ponding water and parapet defects allow moisture to bypass the membrane and migrate downward through the wall cavities and structural transitions. Relentless environmental forces, like heavy wind-driven rain, exploit these rooftop deficiencies and quickly transform external wear into an internal crisis. The evidence indicates a systemic failure of the upper building envelope and the associated roof assembly. The path forward requires specialized commercial roofing and waterproofing consultants to restore the integrity of the exterior barrier. Because of the diagnostic mapping, exploratory demolition can now be surgically precise, targeting only the specific areas where the intrusion occurred. Water is a relentless and opportunistic force, slowly migrating through any microscopic flaw found within a compromised structure. Moisture leaves a distinct physical pattern. Building science provides the framework to interpret those findings before a structure faces catastrophic failure.